For my lesson on how to integrate 21st century skills into the classroom, I chose 5 topics that I would teach my students. And those 5 topics are problem solving, communication skills, analytical thinking, artistic creation, and technology exploration. And under each topic, I wrote a brief summary of what I would do with my students regarding each of these topics. So for problem solving, I would give my students a basic arithmetic handout, and if they happen to become confused on a problem, I would ask them to work through the problem in a different way and try to think about how they could receive an answer in a different way, and that's how I would get their brains thinking and how I would stimulate their brains from a different approach. For communication skills, I would place my students in groups of 3 or 4, and I would ask them to discuss a topic such as their favorite subjects in school, and I would ask them why. And this is a good way for them to communicate with other people in a small group setting, and it's also a good way for them to practice active listening skills. And then for analytical thinking, I would display 2 images of paintings, of sculptures, of something artistic, and they would have both similarities and differences. And then I would ask my students to create a Venn diagram to compare and contrast the 2 images that I were to show. And this is a good way to get their brains stimulated and thinking in a more artistic and creative way. For artistic creation, I would ask my students to think of maybe what their favorite landscape is, what their favorite vacation spot is, and I would ask them to draw it on a piece of paper and then show it to the class. This is not only a way to get their minds thinking in an artistic way, but this is also a good way for them to work on their public speaking skills, since I would ask them to show it to the class and explain it. And it's also a good way, again, for their peers to work on active listening. For technology exploration, I would ask my students to construct a survey asking their peers in the class what their favorite animal is the example I have here now, but it could be anything, what their favorite subject is, what their favorite color is, and the list can go on. And these are just examples of some animals that they could ask about. And then from the data that they collected, I would ask them to transfer that to Excel and put it on a spreadsheet, and then after they put their data in the Excel spreadsheet, I would ask them to transfer that data into a graph so they can see how their results coordinated with each other, how they were compared or contrasting. And this is what I would do for integrating 21st century skills into my classroom.